I don't I don't think we realize as women just how emotionally starved our men are. And there's just, I mean, when they're babies, when they're little boys, we dote on them. Moms are usually pretty close to their little boys. Occasionally there's a situation where she wanted a girl and she's not so nice to the little boy. But generally speaking, boys have at least some experience of being loved by a woman, their mom. And then all of a sudden, when they turn 2, 3, 4, 5, certainly by the time they get into kindergarten, they don't get that so much anymore. They get the big boys aren't supposed to cry and don't be a crybaby and what are you going to do about it and get over it and all kinds of stuff. And that doesn't stop. The rejection that a boy experiences from his mom at some point, and then other people as he grows older for his emotional needs, is catastrophic. It's just huge. And we don't even realize it because men are taught don't show anybody that. Don't show that tender side of who you are. Don't be a sissy. Get over it. Just because they hide it doesn't mean it's gone anywhere. It's still there. It's still a primary need. Men are human beings, and human beings all need someone who's available and responsive to emotional needs. And we don't even recognize men's emotional needs, and they try to hide them. So then here I come along with my book, and a guy starts to read those sections on the wonder of a man, and it blows him out of the water. It's like, oh my gosh, because those emotional needs that they had been disconnected from, had been trying really hard to deny, now somebody's just brought them front and center. I've actually had a couple of different men over the years actually confess to me that it's kind of scary to be that exposed, because in the past, that level of exposure for emotional need has been shamed. They've been made fun of for it. And every man knows at his core that's what he needs. Throughout the lifespan, a man craves a woman's attention. First, it's his mom. Then he gets a little older and he starts craving the attention of the girls in his class. That whole thing of pulling the girl's pigtails or chasing her or whatever. He's trying to get her attention. He does dumb things in elementary school to get the girl's attention. And then puberty strikes and he wants to get a girl's attention because now his hormones are starting to rage and he doesn't know what to do with them. I mean, I've watched my sons try to get up the nerve to call a girl. I watched one of them take a half an hour. This was back, years ago. He took the phone in the bedroom and he was gone for the longest time. And he'd come out and then he'd go back, and then he'd come out and then he'd go back. And he finally got the nerve to dial. And he came out and he just like put the phone down really hard. I won't say he threw it, but he was upset. And I'm like, what happened? And he goes, I finally got the nerve to dial her number and her line was busy. And it was like, oh my gosh, he'd gone through all of that misery and he got a busy signal. You'd have to remember busy signals. We don't have that anymore. Now people just get voicemail. But still, it was so devastating for him to even think about putting himself out there. That vulnerability is so deep. And if a man's going to survive to adulthood, he's got to figure a way to hide it because it's not okay for him to show it. So if a wife doesn't pick up on that vulnerability and his desire for her attention, then it's somebody else that's going to come along that's going to give him that attention without him even asking for it. Someone else is going to notice that he has a new shirt. Somebody else is going to notice what a good job he did on his presentation. Somebody else is going to notice that he opened the door for her. And there he's getting the attention and the appreciation and the admiration and, at some level, the affection that he's starving for. So I think it's critical that women really be educated in the fact that a man is starving first and foremost for female attention throughout his lifespan. I mean, even the really old guys, like in their 80s, still love female attention. And I had several stories come to my mind right away about that. But it's something that never goes away. It's like they were designed for it. If you go back to the Garden of Eden, that man was alone, and God's answer was a woman. And that's the way I think it's supposed to be. We're here to meet his needs, and he takes care of us, not in a way that's dysfunctional or that you can't survive on your own, because that's not even realistic, but you do it in a marriage, in this beautiful, beautiful dance that's bonding. It bonds the two of you together. It's amazing. I love it, and that's why I do what I do.